Oh no.
Sure. Okay.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry about that. Our Elgato face cam actually crashed. We had to finally unplug and plug back in the USB cable to get the camera back. So that was horrifying. It doesn't even seem like it was software. Anyway, I'm Alex. This is Brian. This is Speedify Live. Office hours. This is your big chance to ask questions to people who made Speedify. Unfrozen. So we are live. So I'm, hey, not gonna not gonna put up every hello comment, but if you guys have questions about Speedify, this is the place to ask. So what is Speedify, you may ask? In which case, what are you doing watching the stream? But I will answer. It is our software that lets you combine multiple internet connections at the same time. Try and get a circle here. So as you see here, right now, this is running on my Mac Mini. I have an Ethernet cable running to my Comcast modem. I have Wi-Fi that's joined the Starlink that I've got on my roof. And I have tethered cellular from this iPhone plugged into the computer. And so now I get, the speed and reliability of all of them, right? Comcast can go out, somebody can pull the cable on the cell phone, and we will still be live streaming. Of course, what are you going to do if the camera breaks? Oh, there's only so much we can handle, right? I was hearing people. Successful live stream needs a good connection. Speedify helps with that. It needs good audio and it needs good video. All right. I know I could just go read the patch notes, but what's new with the new version? At least the most important part. So there's a new version coming out on Friday. So I was just reading those release notes. So now I'm stuck in the future here. The big things lately have been pair and share. So that's the first thing, which lets you on the same Wi-Fi share your connections. There, you want to talk about it?
Sure. So, yeah, pair and share is really the big new feature in the most recent releases of Speedify, and it lets devices that are on the same local network share their connections with each other. So you can have a bunch of phones, on a Wi-Fi hotspot or on the same Wi-Fi network or something, and they can all see each other through Speedify and can share each other's mobile connections over that Wi-Fi. In places where you're either on the go or don't have good infrastructure, if you're in a spot where everybody's got cell but there's really no Wi-Fi, you can prop up a hotspot on one of those devices, have the other devices join their hotspot, and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of devices sharing every 4G network in range. That's what pair and share does. So that's a big new feature.
So a lot of little improvements coming at the end of this week is what we're shooting for. I know people are testing. I think it's going to go fine. A lot of little improvements in the user interface of pair and share. Unpaired devices are now discovered devices. And there's a different message if you've never paired versus if you have paired but just can't find any of the devices. So a lot of little things are a lot clearer. There's a new setting, which we're turning on by default, but you can turn off. To have any devices that belong to you, that you're logged into the same Speedify account, that they pair and share. They connect to each other automatically. If you log into Speedify on your iPhone, you log into Speedify on your Mac. Boom. They each see each other instantly, no clicking. If you don't like that, you can go and click one, go unpair, and they'll disconnect from each other and they won't reconnect. But I think most people want their devices connected. They turned on pair and share. So we just connect them up. A lot less clicks. So that's good. What else is coming? Right now in the current pair and share, it's getting into details you may not have noticed. You have an internet connection that you're connected to Speedify, and you can add all these paired devices. In the next version, you can have no internet. But if you find any devices with like cellular on the same network, you can use their cellular to make the initial connection. So just parent share works in even more brutal conditions of non-working routers and Wi-Fi networks that have no connection to the internet. It just works better. So, all right. Ebulant asks, good afternoon. How much of my data can Speedify see? I don't do anything bad, but rewatch a lot of shows. Haha.
So yeah, there's you may see using Speedify, you may get prompted on your device saying, "Oh, it looks like you're using Netflix. Do you want to bypass that or something?" There are some smarts on the device that look at domains and try to see if you're using something that may benefit from going around the VPN. All that stuff happens on the device. So
it's right on your phone.
Yep. Exactly. So there's some packet inspection that goes on your phone that doesn't leave your phone. So we don't get notified of that stuff. So really all we see is when you connect and, in kind of bulk, how much data do you use? So if you use 3 gigabytes or something, that's essentially the granularity we get. So we don't get web logs. We don't see any logs of any of that stuff. So there's some application and specific smarts in there that really just live on your device and don't leave.
All right.
So can I imagine if we released a new update for every single improvement? So
we don't have to imagine.
That's what we do in the back end, pretty much.
So at one point we tried just every single week put out every improvement we've made for Speedify this week, and y'all hated it. Why do I have to update again? Why is there always an update? This update's exactly the same as the last one. You fixed one bug. And so we purposely slowed down because it's not a positive.
Essentially what we do on the back end, though.
But that is what we do on the servers, yeah.
If we fix a bug on the server side, usually we'll tag it and release it. That's kind of, yeah.
All right. Marby says, so that would work if I travel abroad and only one person has a SIM card.
Yeah, I mean, that person,
That person can, share their cellular with everyone else in the group. Just, see, with just one SIM card, you end out with a scenario that's pretty similar to just that person made a hotspot.
Yeah.
And a couple people joined it. And you say, what did parent share really give me? Where it starts getting amazing is when there's 4 people with SIM cards. You all join one phone's hotspot, and you don't just get to use that phone's hotspot. You get to use, the tethered connection of all the other 3 that have joined, right? And even this phone that's making the hotspot gets to use the cellular of the devices that joined his hotspot. All right. Joke says, we want a fast server for games.
Yeah, so let me know where you're at. It sounds like probably...
And what game?
Yeah. Which game and where are you? Because it sounds like a geographic thing. Yeah, I mean, if you're anywhere near our servers, you should have nice low latency. So let me know where you're at.
Are there any features another VPN has that you'd like to add to Speedify, or features you've decided against? So one thing a lot of other VPNs do, and I'm heading into one of Brian's rants here, is that when you go to watch movies and stuff, they'll secretly reroute your traffic from the VPN server into someone else's house. Which in some cases, of course, lets you watch movies that, aren't allowed to be watched, streaming stuff that, aren't allowed to be watched through a VPN. So some of them are pretty good at that. On the other hand, creepy as hell. Where is your data going? It's not just coming out of their VPN server. The VPN server is actually sending it into someone's house. Whose house? What are they doing? Are they looking at your data? And to be honest, these VPN companies have no idea, right? Yeah. They do tricky things. In some cases, they pay people to get to use their internet connection. In some cases, I think they just, people are using an app and they don't know that in the background, their VPN is actually shoving out a YouTube movie or whatever. So I don't know. A lot of creepy things you see other VPN providers do.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's a good one where you finally explain that to somebody and they're like, "Really? No, that can't be right." It's like that's that's what they're doing. I don't really like that.
All right. Can I use the regular Speedify license on all my devices? I only have it installed on my PC. Brian?
Yeah, so you can use your Speedify license on up to 5 devices, and we allow a grace period in there. So if you need to stop using a laptop and move to another laptop or something, we're not going to cut you off. But absolutely, yeah, use Speedify on all your devices. I assume you have.
It's meant to be all your devices. This
Yeah.
doesn't mean give it to 4 friends. This means, your laptop, your phone, your iPad, whatever that is.
Exactly. Yep.
If you want to buy it for your friends, there's a family plan for just price of 1.5 users. You can get 5 users on each with 5 devices. So consider that. In answer to just so Joke said we want a fast server. William says their servers are very fast for me, 10 milliseconds or less. Our servers are very fast. But different apps are located in different places. People are located in different places. It is definitely possible to get yourself into some situation. But our actual servers are fast. If you're seeing slowness, it's not our server being slow in all but the very rarest of conditions.
That's the same question.
Oh, that is the same question. All right. Jonathan says, "Hi guys, I love the application and I love how you take time to teach folks through your social media. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for."
So, Sticky Coupon.
Oh, wait a second. Sticky Coupon says, consider making Speedify UI a minimal web app on Unix. The dependency graph on headless machines is painful. You don't have to install the UI.
Yeah.
If you look, there are 2 packages on Linux. There's the Speedify package and the Speedify UI package. You can just install Speedify, and that'll give you the daemon and the command line interface without the graphical app.
Right.
So that's probably what you want. Command line interface, when you install it, there's and this is true on both Windows and Linux, there's a Speedify CLI.pdf in the document in the directory that it installs in, and that goes on for pages and pages with documentation on how to use the command line interface, where you can do absolutely everything the user interface can do, and actually a couple other things if you look very carefully.
Yeah, I think if you install the UI package without installing dependencies, so just avoid that dependency graph thing, you'll get the UI and it will serve it up. And if you have your firewall rules set up correctly, you could access that UI on some other device. But that's not really a normal thing, not something we really support a bunch, but I know people have done that.
I wanted to find out why using Speedify also affects the amount of hotspot my data plan. The amount of hotspot my data plan allots. I receive 50 gigs of high-speed data a month. So regular Speedify usage. First, we try to use your Wi-Fi, assuming you left your Wi-Fi on primary and you left your cellular on secondary. If you weren't playing priorities, we'll try to use the Wi-Fi first and only use the cellular to give you a speed boost. And it doesn't count as tethering data. It is regular data usage. If come in clients who you share your cellular with over pair and pair, they count as tethering or data on your plan. Try not get banned the App Store for letting people cheat on their tethering plan or whatever. So that's the case there. I don't know if that answers. if you're really short on data, I mean, 50 gigs on a phone, that's probably pretty good. That's a lot of data. I mean, there are things like rate limits. You can put daily and monthly data caps on to make Speedify either slow down or stop if you use too much data. Right? You can do things like if I use more than a gig today, then put a data cap of limiting me to 1 megabit. Speedify supports all that, so you can play around with that. Um, all right. We want to reduce the price for a full year. I gotta think, Black Friday's coming up, but all right. And I think they have a yes, I believe we do have a big sale on 3-year plans. It's pretty cheap for what you'd think would be the price of a year and a half. You get 3 years of service. Will there be discounts on offers for the entire year? I don't know. As we get closer to Christmas, there will be some sales. I know that. I don't think we've even decided what they are. Are the past office hour sessions recorded and posted? I believe they are. I think they're on our YouTube channel. We are Speedify on YouTube. Yeah, you're on YouTube. They should be there, I think.
Yeah, I think 2 down is the playlist.
Oh, there we go. Right. So Speedify has posted the playlist in the comments and our store where you can see the latest sale. So, all right. Yeah. So I don't know. We just canceled our Descript subscription, at least for now. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this software. It takes videos and it successfully does speech to text, so it gives you out the script, and I have to admit it's marvelous. It gets punctuation right. It asks like, who is this voice, and you tell it, and then it puts that person's name next to everything they said, and you can edit it. Like you can just highlight a sentence and delete it, and it can give you back both text, the audio, the video. It just puts an edit in, chopping out when the person was saying those words. I always imagined I would take all these videos and churn out my book. And it's not happening. We have a book's worth of stuff we've said on this show. And with a whole lot of editing to only pull out the good nuggets. I think there's a book there for somebody to write about how to do streaming, but I've admitted myself I'm not going to do it. Oh my gosh, how was the Ecamm camp? It was unbelievable. Look, they gave us mugs. They put my name on my mug. So Ecamm is the company that makes the live streaming software that we're using here, Ecamm Live. So yeah, we really love it. It's Mac software for live streaming. Also for recording video, it does all these. It's not really editing software, but does all the effects and stuff in real time, so you can do them, especially in combination with the Stream Deck. You can make really high quality videos just on the fly. And so they had 100 of their users up to their headquarters in Amesbury, Mass. Last week. I tagged along, and it was fantastic. I got to meet Doc Rock, Alec Johnson. A lot of our setup here was from watching Alec Johnson's videos, and Doc Rock was the guy saying, "You need blue and purple lights behind you." I listened. Met him in person. Eden from Camo, I interviewed her. She was there. Katie Fox from Ecamm was there. It just goes on and on. Like so many of the streamers and stuff that I watch were there, and said, "Oh my gosh, Alex, I use Speedify." So that was super exciting for me to meet these people. I like purple and orange lights. Yeah. So Doc Rock, He gave a whole session on cameras, lighting, and sound. What I took away from and followed here is you really need to, if you're doing this, level your camera. Even the slightest crookedness to your camera looks so terrible. And white balance. So we did that. We have lights here, and so we check the temperature of the lights and match the white balance in the camera to fit, and it makes all the skin colors and stuff actually look right. It makes a big difference. Anyone say you're taller than I thought? No one says that to me. People meet me and they always say, I thought you'd be taller. You seem tall on the internet. So I'm 6'1", but everyone who meets me is terribly disappointed. They expect me to be super tall, and I'm apparently a great disappointment. So anyway, oh, I'm growing. I'm growing. Just not getting taller. All right. Ebulant says, sorry if this question was asked before. Can we add our own websites for Speedify to bypass? On Windows and Linux, in the command line interface, there are some bypass options. You can add URLs there. So that happens. Brian is 5'3". He's stranger taller online. And I have seen him get, oh, you're tall. It just grinds it. It's not that everybody seems taller on the internet. It's just me. So, William Wallace is 7 foot tall. Tough. It's tough. My son's very happy. He's now taller than me. He was shorter than me when he graduated high school. Now he's a sophomore in college, and he's taller than me. So it appears he's still growing. So I don't know. Spike in your connection. Ooh. Let's look at this. Something terrible happened with our internet, and it sounds like it was so bad some of you may have detected it. Look at that. So the blue is the Comcast cable, and something happened. I got to point the right spot here, where Speedify said, "Oh God," and kicked on all the other connections. Let's see what it is. Was it? There was some latency.
Yeah, 20% loss. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, well, mostly on the Starlink.
Yeah.
I guess that was enough to make it freak out and decide it needed cellular. Neato. Hopefully we're still online, though. All right. Wow, the stream is brought to us by your cell carrier. Yeah. All right. How good is Starlink at this time as a backhaul option now, assuming you have some insight on your end? Starlink for us, most of the day, it gives us 200 megabits down, 50 up. Fantastic. But it is going up and down all day. We have several minutes a day where it's not working. We have several minutes a day where it's like 1 megabit. And then, the next satellite comes along and it recovers. So it's very variable. So variable, like, would I want to go live streaming with that? You saw those spikes I just saw of loss? Not really. But if you can combine it with one more connection, even if the other connection is really slow, right? When Starlink falls to 1 megabit, even if you could just combine it with a 3G cellular and get, another 3 megabits, that's probably enough to save you, right? And tide you over with just a kind of a slow internet for the minute or two till the next satellite comes. So that's my answer. Starlink plus nearly anything. with Speedify is fantastic, and I recommend it. Starlink by itself, comes it goes. If you're doing email and stuff, and it's okay if you don't get one for a minute or three, that's probably fine. But if you're trying to do live streams like this, it probably doesn't cut it.
Yeah, I think gaming would be frustrating too.
Gaming would be frustrating too. That's right up there, right? And anything real time where you need it to work right now and waiting a minute isn't good enough. All right. Is there another server I can use other than the Netherlands for downloading torrents? Sadly, the Netherlands server is kind of bad. Got some packet loss lag there.
So let me know where you're at. The only torrent-friendly servers we have are in Amsterdam, but they should be pretty quick for basically everybody in the U.S. and everybody in Europe. They should be good. So yeah, let me know where you're at. But our choices are really limited there in what we can do.
Thanks. Good to know about Starlink. Yeah, that's my answer. Starlink plus anything is good. All right. Torrents are legal in Amsterdam.
So torrents are legal everywhere. It's the what you're torrenting, not always. And so there are some providers that just essentially won't pass on DMCA takedown notices and things like that. And so you just it's a matter of finding a provider that'll do that. So.
There you are. All right. I think that is probably it for today. Need Speedify to fix the NHL blackout zones. Oh, God. Such nonsense. I mean, I understand needing to charge for your product, but refusing to sell your product to people based on like what part of the country they're in, especially when they're still in the same country. Absurd. He's in Austria.
Yeah. So if you have issues, especially with loss or something, go ahead and send logs to support, and let's take a look at that. But you should be seeing, certainly a couple hundred megabits or something from Austria to Amsterdam. So it shouldn't be slow for you.
All right. Ed asks, why does Starlink take the primary spot on automatic, even if Verizon has 3 times the speed test megabits per second? I can answer that, and if you don't like the answer, you can fix it. The answer is because Starlink gives basically unlimited. It is much cheaper. It was right on the line. We actually argued about whether Starlink should be primary or secondary. Cellular tends to be more expensive in terms of people having data caps, people having limits on what they can use. It's sucking down their battery so much faster than Wi-Fi. That it was clear that cellular stuff like Verizon should be secondary for most people. And try to use it less than the primary, right? And clearly stuff like Fios and cable modems should be primary. Use them all the time. They cost nothing, right? And so Starlink was kind of right in this middle zone where it's sort of more expensive, but it's also sort of just Wi-Fi. And so we decided to put it in primary, that if you have Starlink and cellular, we try to use the Starlink first. And if it's working great, we just use it. And if it's not that great, then we start adding the cellular to fix it. If in your situation that's wrong, Ed, that is totally fine. Go to the user interface. You can click on the Starlink. And here's the priority. Change it from automatic to secondary. Bob. That'll put it at the same priority as the Verizon, and they'll get used evenly. If you really wanted to use the Verizon more, click on it. This is my AT&T, but close enough. Click the priority, and if you want to push it to primary, then almost everything will go over your Verizon unless it's not fast enough, and then we'll add some Starlink. Totally up to you. You are in control, Ed. But that was our thinking. Our thinking is that the Starlink is basically unmetered. Although they play games, they keep changing the rules, which I kind of understand. It's a dynamic thing. They're adding customers and they're adding satellites, and sometimes they have too many customers and things slow down. They need to put on the brakes, and sometimes they realize they don't have enough customers, and so they get more generous to get more people to sign up. But it's kind of irritating for us that it goes back and forth. Okay, good. Ed has done that. Would it be possible to allow P2P on any server by sending P2P traffic to the Netherlands server and other data to a nearby server?
So this is something we
Okay.
thought about and looked at. Okay, so yeah, Ed did set the priorities. So yeah, doing P2P on any server, a lot of that comes down to how much torrenting apps can change around what their traffic looks like. And so there's a bunch of different protocols. There's a bunch of different ways where they'll try to hide, you're essentially creating a bunch of connections to a bunch of other people, and that protocol can look really different. And so there's a lot of obfuscation techniques in play and stuff so that ISPs and networks can't really block that. And so it would be a partial solution. We would be able to see some of that peer-to-peer traffic, but not enough of it.
We
get servers taken down.
We do not want lawyers going after us.
Right.
We're not here for that. We're big fans of, we don't know what's going on our server. We don't see any of their traffic, but that doesn't work when the copyright police show up. They say, well, then we're turning off your server, and your server gets turned off. Yeah. Few bad apples torrenting can blow up Speedify for lots of people. So that's where we're at. All right, it's 2:40. We've been doing this for 40 minutes. Be back next week. We were just talking about whether we want to try doing this live from NAB in New York next week. I'm not sure we really decided. We'll see. Yeah, and maybe it's just Kevin and Mike here next week here in the studio, and maybe it's like me and Brian in New York. I don't know. We'll see. Playing with ideas. So anyway, if you have more questions, you can shoot us an email, support@speedify.com. We have a Discord. I see that's in the comments as well. Feel free to hit us up there. And yeah, awesome stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you all online.
See ya.